$15 a piece. Doesn't work good for hunting in the winter. Now I got this to work with. Here's a comparison. It should be able to move back and forth, blow up and blow your off in just your arms. You're gonna be like, ugh. So hopefully this works. Hey friends, if you're anything like me, then you like crossbows. And you will also know that they can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. But hey, don't get me wrong, I love me a good crossbow. Especially my favorite. Because if there's a zombie apocalypse, well, I'm not gonna have to worry too much with this baby. Might not be that powerful, but it's powerful enough to blow an arrow through someone's head. I'm just kidding, you two. But when I heard about the air javelin, and I heard about how it was CO2 powered, well, I mean, how could I not? I mean, they're both pretty sweet, but they both got their pain in the ass problems. That one, you know, unless you want to throw your back out by pulling the string back, which I've done before, or use the string, which is nice but slow. And this sucker here, well, you might get 45 shots out of this, but they're $15 a piece. And if you like to shoot as much as me, you're not gonna want to pay for that. I mean, come on. But then when I heard this bad boy was in town, I wasn't so turned off. I was more excited because now, instead of paying and dealing with some non-reliable CO2 that doesn't work good for hunting in the winter, now I got this to work with. I like working out, so using the pump and using the tank that has a 5-year warranty on it, and I can also mess with the regulator to get more or less power, come on. You can't go wrong with that. Like I said, I love me a good crossbow, especially when you got the bipod, a nice scope, got a bunch of arrows to go with it, you got silencers. I mean, the whole deal is just like, I shoot this thing all day and I never get tired of it. But sometimes you do get tired of the slow reloading, the backaches, and the wideness, even though it's pretty sweet. Other days when you're feeling like a PCP type dude, but you're not feeling like shooting pellets or pellets that are slugs that look like bullets, but they're still pellets. But you feel like shooting arrows, but you don't feel like doing that. You don't feel like doing a compound or recurve. You want to do this. You could pump with the tank on the ground, fill it up, and then screw it into the gun, or you could have it already in the gun and pump it up while it's in the gun. But if you don't want to worry about air leaks or too much pressure on the gun over time or yada yada, you can unscrew it, leave it off, pump it up, or when you're using it, leave it on there and pump it while it's on the gun. But just for people who don't know what they're doing, let's go over a few things. This is a basic connector that you see on most of these. This piece here is to check and see if there's any leaks on the pump. I leave it in there for one, so I don't lose it, and also to keep dirt and stuff out of there. So we take that off, and now over here, there is the valve that allows the pressure to go from the pump down the hose into the tank. And before you disconnect the hose, you have to release this, let the pressure off, then you can take this off safely. Don't be a dingle and forget to do that, and then you go to pop this off and this thing smacks you in the face or in the ball sack, and then you're crying at the hospital like a little baby. This here is your pressure gauge. You should never rely on just this gauge or just this gauge. You should always look at both. Be like, okay, I got this here, okay, I got this here. But on your tank, you should never go above, if it's a small tank like this, 3000 CI, you should never go above 3000, the little 3. I mean, sometimes I go a little above 3,000 if I'm feeling a little naughty, you know, 3,100, 3,200. Never around past 3,200 though. You never know, you might bump it and it might blow up and blow your off for all you know. So anyways, it's also good to leave these on here, whether it's a rubber one, some black one, some look a little different, yellow, whatever, you know, it's just good to keep them covered, keep the dirt out of there and whatnot. Something else for you to know. There are these little cotton type filters in here. It can be a pain in the ass to try to take those out. So if you don't feel like doing that, you can actually buy another filter that attaches to this. That's a lot easier to change. It's like bigger, it's like this much bigger, and you never have to worry about your tanks getting messed up with dirt and water and whatnot, because you can always change it. I just don't have that one right now, but I mean, this is working good enough for me. You just got to remember to drain the water and re-lubricate it every 1,000 to 2,000 pumps or so. I'll show you how this works. All right, so take that off. I'm gonna give you a couple little tricks and whatnot that a lot of people might not tell you. Now, when you connect these, what you got to do is you got to pull this back and you push that on, push it on all the way, and when you put it like that, it should be able to move back and forth like this with no problem while holding it like that. If it's not doing that, it's not connected properly. Now that it's on there, set that down, make sure that I usually use a pillow or a mat. It's always good to be safe and cautious. Don't be an idiot. So after you connect it, make sure that your release valve is tightened on, not too tight, so you can actually unscrew it when need be. And then it's gonna take you about 150 to 200 pumps, depending on the temperature of the air. And also, don't forget this. You should take breaks. So let's say if the tank is already filled up to 3,000 and you bring it down to 1,000, you could pump it from 1,000 to 3,000 without making this too hot. This is going to get pretty damn hot. So you should never pump it too fast, because if you do pump it too fast and the pressure gets too hot through the hose, your 1800 pressure disc will pop. And then you'll have to get another one of those until you can use your tank again. So never overheat the air inside the tank too much. It can expand too much. It'll give you problems. So don't pump your pump too fast. Make this too hot, to make the air too hot to go into the tank. So if it's getting really hot, once it reaches 2,000, then you should take a break, give it 5 minutes or so, and then do another 1,000 PSI until it's where you want it to be. But just remember that. Don't go too crazy. I've done it before where I go mad, I start pumping like a crazy person, and then it gets so hot inside the tank, this thing gets so damn hot, and then a pressure disc goes psh, and then now you gotta wait for pressure disc because you ran out. When you pump this, after you get so high up pumping it, the pressure builds up so much. If you're only using your upper torso and just your arms, you're gonna be like, I can't get it all the way. So what you should do, when you come up, drop, you get that T-bar. When you lift up, when you come down here, that T-bar, it kind of goes in between where your hips are, and you just drop your knees and let your body weight bring it down. Don't slam it, but that's how you can do this effortlessly when you get up to almost 3,000. And you notice 2,500, you can't really get it because you're like, ugh, can't get it. You just bring it up and then drop your knees and let your body weight do the work. Are you enjoying this video? Is it really helpful to you? If so, give me a like and smash that subscribe button, as everybody says. I don't want to be one of those phony baloney people who just constantly is like, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, and me, for me. Like, I genuinely want to help people, and I love this stuff. Probably shouldn't swear too much on YouTube. I don't want to get demonetized before I even get monetized. The release valve that I was talking about. You just gently, slowly release it. Push this down. Make sure you get all of it out. Till all the hissing's gone. No more hissing. Alright. You grab this thing, and there should be no noise at all. Nothing when you take that out. Alright. So, guess what happened? I went and pumped up the tank to 2,500, and I set it to the side. I was getting ready for the next part of the video, and another disc blew. So I only had 3 extra 1,800 burst discs, and I figured it was either the burst discs were really bad quality and they couldn't handle the pressure that they're supposed to, and they're popping when they shouldn't be, or it's the regulator. So after going through 2 of them, I didn't want to burst that third one by trying it again, so luckily this is the old one, and I'm thinking that when I screwed it in without caulking it, I'm pretty sure the air pressure went back in, mangled something on the inside. Luckily, I have this tank that I ordered off of AliExpress from China, and it's quite fatter. It's the same size on the inside, holds the same amount of air, but it's quite beefy and heavy. I put the last 1,800 disc on there, and I pumped it up, and it seems to be working just fine. But alright, so here we go. Don't make the same mistake as me and have to go through hell. Ready? This is the last time I'm ever gonna forget this because I don't want to go through all this bullpucky. There we go. Alright. Now this time it should be a lot different. Alright, we get it down. And then... hear that? That sounded nice. So the gauge is pointing down and the fill up is on the side. It's always good to waste the shot after you fill it up. So here we go. Oh. Let's do some shooting, shall we? This time I'm not gonna blow my ears out. They are definitely going in a lot further at close range with that new air pressure. For sure. About an inch deeper than usual on the hard side. Pretty good. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Definitely gonna need earplugs. Okay, so the difference between that and this, there's all these pros and cons between the two. This one is very silent. You would not know that this thing was coming. Just having, I got this fabric tape on here on both sides where the string vibrates, and these string silencers makes a huge difference. You can barely hear it. These are heavier, but they both go about the same speed. It's just these are heavier. These both are very devastating. Don't get messed up. Very fun. Alright, so here's your reference. Alright. They're about the same. It's not much of a test, but ooh, that one went in pretty good. It was angled, that's why. Here's a comparison. The stock bolt on these things are very tiny, very light, and this is actually a 16, so I think this must be a 14.5 or a 15 inch. Everything will come together on the field. I do have a chrony, and I am gonna run a chrony test, but it's a small one. Alright, so I finally figured out a solution for this thing. I took a Picatinny rail extension that I had, and I attached it to it with some wire. So hopefully this works. 138.6, 138.4, 138.1, 137.7,